And remember to tap again to transfer.
Hi, this is Ian Ileana. I am an environmental activist. This is my podcast. I hate LA, love me anyway. I am supposed to be waiting for this locksmith to come fix the door, but I'm just going to go see a lawyer because I was locked out of my apartment and then I was also assaulted, but it feels like the assault was pre-planned. And I've talked to length about how Los Angeles is a weird fucking city that, things appear out of nowhere, things disappear. But when you assault people, that takes the magic side of it. I mean, that's just conspiracy and corruption. And for what? The fact that I challenge what inconvenienced, and by inconvenienced I mean, yes, if you lost your house, you lost your house, but then there's also birds and animals that had the forest as their home. I mean, where do they turn? I mean, no one writes them a check and says go find a condominium to your liking somewhere else. We lost a lot in the LA fires, and I think we lost a little bit of our dignity. I can't look at the people here the same exact way because there was a time before the fires where we could have addressed pollution, we could have addressed climate change, we could have addressed the drought that this city is facing because there's not enough rain. There's rain, it's just a few drops here and there. It's not a heavy rain and it doesn't last very long. And the ground needs to be properly soaked. I don't understand why people don't see it that way. I mean, there used to be rivers and tributaries here. I'm pretty sure if you look into city records, or at least I'm going to have to as a journalist, I'm going to have to dig up those city records that show where there was sediment, water, fossils within the area that they had to excavate and move away so that they could build their pretty city that still catches on fire because you can't stop nature for that. It's a catastrophe that one forest fire would say, but when you set that many forest fires, I don't know, it just feels like we should own as a county. We should be able to say, that was awesome, definitely awesome that happened there. So here I am, I'm an environmentalist, Ian Ileana, and I'm going to stand up to these politicians and even to the people of Los Angeles and say, you can't keep setting fire to the forests.
Please stand clear. The doors are closing.
Now, I say that as a person who talks about my military sexual trauma and how I was sexually abused by Master Sergeant Miranda of the United States Air Force.
Please stand clear. The doors are closed.
But when I talk about that, I'm just shedding some light on an organization that was a vampire to me, used me, sexually abused me in order to prove the point of dominance against American citizens.
The next stop is Jefferson USD Station. Exit here.
So what do I do? Do I treat it as, some sort of weird life lesson that I'm supposed to glean some cosmic information from? Or do I say, no, sexual abuse in the military is always wrong? I say sexual abuse in the military is always wrong. So, yeah, trying to find a lawyer. I'm limping very, very badly. And, I just won't give up. I refuse to. I know that there's something wrong with California, and I'm going to continue talking about it because somebody has to. I mean, somebody has to be able to say that the pollution affects our health, it affects the health of our children. I mean, I started this podcast with that lovely beginning about, for the children. Like, what are you doing for the children? Because I don't even have kids, but I'm fighting for their right to breathe. Because I think that parents in America in this day and age, they get so wrapped up in providing things that they miss out on the opportunity to speak on the behalf of the ones they love the most. If you love your children, then why wouldn't you talk to your politician and tell your politician, hey, you need to do something about this pollution because it's affecting my kids' lungs. Now, I can speak on it on my own podcast, but that's a non-parent, even though you can call me Daddy on X. But I'm a non-parent. I don't have any kids. If you have kids, it's on you to take care of that, because kids just want to be kids. They don't want to be a statistic for lung cancer or asthma.
California Science Center, Natural History Museum, Natural History Museum,
African American Museum. Science has come so far. I've seen some strides in using recycled material as construction material. So things like glass and plastic that are just sitting in a landfill could be repurposed to be used on roads, playgrounds, hospitals, homes. I mean, you could use it to build another wing to a library and on a college campus. You could do a lot with it. What you really shouldn't do is just let those materials stay in a landfill where they don't help anyone. Those materials are lightweight. Those materials can be molded and adapted to several uses, including reducing pollution. Health matters. I mean, my skin is not that bad right now, except for my lip is peeling because I've been out in the elements. So I know it's not a beauty contest when you're trying to go for this congeniality, but it doesn't exactly help. I'm not exactly the spokesperson that people want to look at. I'm just someone with facts. And it is a fact that the air in Los Angeles is bad. And especially worse when you have a forest fire. And they seem to have a lot of it. Something we have to talk about, forest fires in Los Angeles. I mean, they have them in other states, but I live here. Someone has to be a hero for here. And the hero of this story is not me. It's the city of Los Angeles. If the city of Los Angeles could stand up to Mayor Karen Bass, to Governor Gavin Newsom, and start talking to them about what you want to see in the city and not what is just being done in your city. It's just something to think about. I want to leave Los Angeles, so I hope someone takes up this fight.
Stand clear. The doors are closing.
So someone can continue to speak on these issues. But that's up to you, Los Angeles. If you have had enough of forest fires, had enough of sneezing and your eyes burning and you're not exactly knowing why. It's not allergies. That's hazardous material floating in the air, stinging you, because your body is trying to get rid of it as quickly as possible. And I'm beginning to think, that the air is poisoning us while we're here. I mean, we don't talk about that. Or, I mean, I am dark, but I'm what you might call a light-skinned wizard. So, you know, I need to put on sunscreen when I can. I need to moisturize a lot more. So going out in the sun does burn me. It does. UV matters here, and I know that LA does have a rather comprehensive ad campaign trying to educate people, stay in the shade, stay in the shade, stay in the shade. But that's mostly for heat stroke. It's not talking about the skin cancer, the skin damage that life in California is doing to us. I'll just break it down in a way that people will understand in California. Most of you come to be actors, singers, dancers, and that is a beauty-based business. You have to be beautiful at all times, flawless, ageless in some cases. This city where all the connections are, every time that you are outside, you're putting yourself at risk of skin damage, cellular degeneration, because the photons that are entering your deoxyribonucleic acid are knocking some of the elements out of alignment. Therefore, by exciting them, you are reducing the ability of ribosomes in the cells to create the proteins or some of the other things like complex materials, I don't know, collagen. Therefore adding to premature aging in an otherwise healthy people. You can be as active as you want, you can be as healthy and conscientious with your diet as possible. You are not beating the sun beating down on your face and putting holes on your face where skin cells are just cooked. You're being barbecued alive, and it's done so slowly and no one notices. You can boil a crab, but the crab doesn't feel it. When you look at your face and you see any difference and you live in Los Angeles, do you feel that? Do you understand that? You know, the thing that you look at, your reflection, California's robbing that of you because they don't have enough sun shields, they don't have enough weather, not enough clouds, anything at all for them to be able to do something. I'm just going to move someplace where I feel a bit more comfortable. And I'm being denied by my dog who wants to have a nap right now. Anyway, I have PTSD from military sexual trauma. I don't like to have people near me at all. And for some reason, every time I'm doing a podcast or trying to talk about something, people just automatically sit there. But I don't own the bus or train. I never said that I did. I shouldn't be out doing a podcast. I should be doing a podcast in my own apartment. That's where most people podcast. They don't podcast in public. Well, I'm not most people. So it is what it is. I still think these are important issues. You know, I want people to appreciate, love their bodies. When you look in the mirror and you see less sun damage, you are able to make healthier choices for yourself. Your body image defines what foods you put into your body and the type of people that you allow into your life. So if you want to make better decisions, you need to start speaking up about pollution. You need to start speaking up about sun damage. I follow NASA Sun religiously, because there is a reason why the sun is normally revered as a god, not just a god, one of the most important gods, because it brings life to things like plants, but it also robs life of things like animals. So just some environmental hazards that I think Los Angeles needs to start talking to people about. Because when you do a Discover LA ad and you show people on the beach in their swimsuit holding a surfboard, it gives this impression that you could do that too and be happy, and you could do that maybe often to be happy. It doesn't explicitly say that, but it somewhat implies that you could live an outdoors life here in Los Angeles, and that is not the case. In Los Angeles, you have crime, you have people addicted to meth everywhere, people shooting up drugs everywhere, and then you have smog, forest fire smoke, and then the sun itself, which cooks you from the outside, turns your skin to leather, ages you. And then there's the water. The water here is not the best.
Please stand clear.
I would recommend people test your water, boil your water, distill your water if you can, and also make sure it has some minerals too, or eat a mineral-rich diet, eat more fruits and vegetables for your water, because people here are dehydrated. I'm dehydrated. I don't drink enough.
Welcome aboard the Metro
Because
This train's final destination.
right now I'm leading a very, very active lifestyle of trying to move around this city to go see a lawyer after I've been assaulted by the East LA Latinx community again. And it really shouldn't come down to that, but it took one person to assault me, but it took 5 people to ignore that the assault was happening. Ignore that a transgender person was being attacked. And it took an entire metro system not to have a button available on that platform for me to press to call for metro security. Now I can see metro security out there right now at this station, but they don't go as far as East Los Angeles because the East Los Angeles sheriffs are supposed to be taking care of that. And there is no coordination between the Los Angeles sheriffs and the LA Metro. The LA Metro, they only go as far as Tokyo, so as far as I see. Sometimes a little bit further, but not all the way, and that's what I need. I need there to be a police presence here. I unfortunately live in a bad neighborhood that disrespects the LGBTQ, but then puts an X at the end of their appellate to say, yeah, well, we know you're there. It's not that we accept you, but we know you're there. Hi, Clint. I'm still locked out of my apartment. I can't believe this. So once again, no sleep. You know, I got whiz like the fucking Dickens. Oh my god. But you know, I don't have private property in order to do so. So I better. She has no idea what happened. But then why did she has no idea what happened. But then why did the handyman come to my door 4 times, ring the doorbell with a full tool set, if the result is that the lock itself is fused, then why in the world...
Stand clear. The doors are closing.
I don't know. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Or I should have been in proper shelter care. You see, it's more than that, Clint. You know, I want to to say, oh, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. It's so much more than that to me, because I'm a disabled American veteran. I served my country, I served America. I'm done. I should have my full veteran benefits. If I had my full veteran benefits, I could have my own house. Like, doesn't that make more sense? I mean, I'm looking at this situation and I'm just saying, what if I just lived in a house that I owned? Thank you, Clint, for doing a video about how America treats veterans badly. Thank you so much. You know, we need more people talking about what veterans are going through. There's a link in my live where it talks specifically about a restitution bill for victims of military sexual trauma, so that they can put up the boundaries and seek private medical care in order to, if they choose, reintegrate into society or seek autonomy.
Metro 212 to Hollywood and Inglewood via La Brea. Please stand clear. The doors are closing.
Thank you so much for talking about, you know, what all veterans are going through. It's very, very rough for us. You know, we care so deeply about the country. We are often very vocal about it, and we are constantly being attacked, harassed, or just manipulated, you know, into thinking selfishly and choosing security over our rights. You know, you have the right to speak about important issues. You have the right of freedom of speech. You have the right of freedom of press. And especially in America, they should respect that. I mean, I know in 225, when everyone wants to say their piece on social media, but even social media, like I hop on X and I just got to the point where I just do just another day in Los Angeles, nothing to see here, and I leave it at that, and I still get locked out of my own account.
Now arriving. Jefferson Station. Connect here with Metro 105 to West Hollywood via La Cienega. 217 to Hollywood via Fairfax.
That's an interesting point, Clint, and I'm glad you worded it that way. I'm looking at it, and some of us don't want to rejoin society. Some of us look at the society and say, no, we would prefer that the society grew up a lot more, so that we wouldn't have to risk life, limb, sanity, and our families to protect your civil liberties. If you want to protect freedom, you want to protect your American land, then you have to fight too. Because even though I'm not in uniform and I don't have an AK-47 or anything like that, I am an airman who is retired but still fighting for America. Even though America has done me wrong, I'm still trying to save people, trying to pick them up, uplift them, educate them, guide them, nurture them, respect them the best way I can. I mean, I have military sexual trauma, so the idea of me trying to empathize and help people is a bit strange coming out my mouth, but I still try to do it in my own way. Competency is competency. Competency is competency.
Report any safety or cleaning concerns through the LA Metro Transit Watch app or station.
You want the most qualified person to be your healthcare provider.
Or use the onboard or station intercom. If you see something, say something. The next stop is Palm Station. Connect here with the Blue Bus 5 weekday service to Century City.
So yes, do what you can to support your veterans, because just saying thank you for your service, it's not enough. There are people like me who are engineers who could be doing more with their life if they weren't constantly being forced into these bad faith shelters, these veteran houses, which are shams and scams just designed to keep veterans wasting their money, wasting their time, and keep them from having their own families. We're going to go that way. I mean, the VA has robbed me. The VA has robbed me of my family. My mother died while I was serving my country.
The doors are closing.
And because of my military sexual trauma, I don't think I'll be able to have a family easily. Air Force is responsible for that. The Air Force is definitely responsible for that.
Please be prepared to present your
I need
validated tap card for
people to
inspection by
know
security or
how
enforcement violations
deeply
are subject to a
troubled
citation.
veterans are, how much they hurt, and that every time you try to force them into a society that hurts them without allowing them the same capabilities as other people. This is Ian Iliana of I Hate LA, love me anyway. Oh, and don't forget to like, follow and subscribe. I have a debate with NASA, not with them because, you know, they would never talk to me, and I think they're a terrible agency because they don't go to Mars in the way that I would prefer that they did. But anyway, I'm still going to debate their space program because someone should.